back to the slots. Yep. So, good news. I believe there's going to be... Oh god, are there 6 more videos of that I screwed up the audio on? That's the good news. Bad news is you gotta watch more of me fail at slot machines. How long did it take me to do this? I've actually forgotten. But anyway, you know what? I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm gonna keep talking. Now for me to rank the Pokemon games that I have personally played. Number 1, we'll start. My least favorite Pokemon game of all the ones I have played was probably Pokemon White 2. Just did not enjoy that nearly as much as I thought I would, which is interesting because that's the first Pokemon game I got a Lucario. And I love Lucario. Lucario is probably my favorite fighting type. I meant to make a list of my favorite Pokemon while I was recording, but you know, who cares? If you get, I've got multiple episodes to re-record the audio for, so you'll probably get that at some point anyway. Man, I wish I had something better to commentate on than my failure at the slots. This did take a while. I actually came back and did some more slots afterwards because I had to get a TM, and it took, I think it took a solid 2 hours for me to get the TM. It's all because I don't have the money to just buy the stuff outright. But anyway, I fail. I'm a failure. But anyway, so my least favorite was White 2. I didn't enjoy it that much. I just didn't. I felt like, you know, one of the good things about Black that I found was that I had to play with an entire new set of Pokemon. It completely changed my strategy from all of the others. But I digress. Also, I had a Wailord. That was probably my favorite part of the entire thing, was Wailord, watching that fat, blubbery thing fill up the entire screen. My second least favorite game is actually not, it's not Black. My second least favorite game is probably Ultra Moon. No, not Ultra Moon, sorry. It's probably Sun, or Moon, or whichever one I played. I felt it was too easy. And Ultra Moon is also on this list, but it's higher up, specifically because I felt like they did a great job of balancing stuff out in Ultra Moon. But it was way too story driven, and the tutorial felt like it never really ended. And honestly, I'm scared because I'm hearing Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee is going to be actually very similar, in that it's not going to be a real Pokemon game, which upsets me to no end, but I have no idea if it's true. This was Kotaku, and I don't know how much we can trust Kotaku with anything. But I digress. My next Pokemon game on the list. Now this one was hard. I put Black here, specifically because I didn't like how story-driven it was. I give them props for forcing me to use their Pokemon. I wasn't a huge fan of their Pokemon. There were very few that I liked as much as the originals. Or, not even the originals, it's the previous ones. And, I mean, the story was good. I'll give it that. But there was way too much just story-driven, if that makes sense. Oh, sweet, I got 108 there randomly. How long did this take me? Was I here for like a solid 10? Oh, yay! Okay, no, it didn't. I don't think it took me that long to finally get the money to get my new party member. But and let's see, after Black, probably Omega Ruby. I did not hate Omega Ruby as much as a lot of other people did. And I think the reason behind it was my first game that I played in Hoenn. It was my very first one that I ever played in Hoenn. So I was a little biased towards that. Also, I love Trico. And a good starter Pokemon will definitely put Pokemon games higher on this list than they probably should be. I say that because number 2 is probably going to upset some people. God, I'm trying to think what else. Oh yeah. After, but overall with Omega Ruby, people were right. It's a kind of a slog. I enjoyed it. I can understand why people didn't enjoy it. No, I'm a failure in the slots. I don't even know anyone's watching a slot gameplay anymore. Retrospect, I probably shouldn't have recorded this. I probably should have done what I did with the second batch of slot work to get the TM. Although I did record me getting the TM, at least. Let's see. After Omega Ruby, my next favorite... That's a really hard one. I'd say probably my next favorite, or I think we're still kind of in the games that I like, but I don't play often. You know what? Probably gonna put Crystal. I like Crystal. I like it a lot. There's really not much of a point for me to play it anymore since Soul Silver. I know Crystal is actually a lot of people's favorite games, but I keep in mind Crystal, it was also a lot of people's first games, or like even their second game. A lot of people started with the like originals with red and blue, and then Crystal and gold and silver. I started with Soul Silver. I started with the newer version of Crystal. So I may be a little biased to how I was one off. Funnily enough, next one after that, I'd put, and these are only the ones I've played. Like, I have not actually done a playthrough of Red and Blue. I can't bring myself to do that. I dropped my water bottle. I don't know if anyone could hear that. Oh, sweet, 300. I come back up and I see myself with 777s. But after Crystal, probably would put Soul Silver. Because I really like Soul Silver. I really do. My only issue with Soul Silver is that I can't, in my opinion, there's no good places to grind before some certain gyms or certain problems, especially in the second half of the game. Grinding to go fight red is a pain and a half. I found what I ended up doing is I would end up trading my teams to platinum and using some of their grind spots, and it would work so much better. But I do really like Soul Silver. I love that I can see my Pokemon like traveling behind me, like little bouncing. I love Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil's still one of my favorite starters. I'll probably go through my top 10 starters. I've already kind of gone through my top 10 starters. But I ranked my favorite per game. I haven't really ranked like an official ranking. This will basically... I can do actually a couple rankings. But I digress. After Soul Silver, I'd probably put Emerald. I remember playing Emerald on my emulator and having a lot of fun. That's whenever I really kind of fell in love with Trico, is with that game. It was just, it's so much fun, and like a lot of people, oh sweet, another payout. A lot of people don't like Hoenn, and I can understand why, actually. It's a lot of surfing, but the issue here is I actually like Tentacool and Tentacruel, so I didn't mind it nearly as much as some people did. Some people went on rants how much they hate. It was like, what's the running meme? 7 out of 10, but too much water? I personally enjoyed it. I could have cared less. Let's see, after Emerald, and this is when we start getting tough, because this like next batch of games are all games I really, really like, and I have played through multiple times, but if I had to pick through them, I would put, and I want to say these are like the last 4 too. So now at number 4, I gotta, I love, are there even 4 left? There's, no, there's actually 3 left. There's 3 left, sorry. Number 3, gotta put Pokemon Y. I don't understand why, but I loved Pokemon Y so much. So much whenever I first got it. Keep in mind, this was like my, this was like my 5th Pokemon game that I ever got. So it's not such a huge event. Wow, it took me over 10 minutes. Interesting. But I love Pokemon Y. It's the first 3D game, and I absolutely adored getting to see all these Pokemon in 3D, getting to see them. My first playthrough, I told you, was Chespin. That was before I found out how much I loved Froakie. I absolutely adored Froakie, and so ever since then, I basically every playthrough is with Froakie unless I'm doing some challenge. It was the first game I successfully Nuzlocked too. I really like Honedge. Honedge is one of my personal favorites. I beat the Elite Four in the game with a Furret, and the only other game I can say that with is Soul Silver. Furret is awesome. Like anyone who disses that little otter thing deserves whatever they get, because Furret is actually criminally underrated in my opinion. Let's see. Number 2, what I'm playing right now, Pokemon LeafGreen. I really enjoyed this game. This game did it right. It kept the base of red and blue, and it improved upon it, in my opinion, in every form or fashion. Grinding is so much more fun in this game. This is the game that taught me how to grind. A lot. The first game I'm going to talk about taught me that I needed more than one Pokemon to beat the game, or at least do it properly. This game taught me how to grind, because every game I had played up until this point, I ran through basically with one Pokemon. I mono Pokemoned it, so I'd have like a level 100 Meganium at the end of the game, but if they sent out even like a level 70 Ice type, I would have some issues. Now finally, my number 1. This shouldn't come as a shock to anyone. Pokemon Platinum. Pokemon Platinum is just, in my opinion, is perfect. I have no complaints about the entire game. I understand. I actually watched some of my favorite YouTubers play through the game, and they bashed on it. You could tell that they didn't like it. You could tell that it was especially compared to some of their other Nuzlocke series, it was incredibly low energy. It just felt like they didn't care as much. But I absolutely love the game, and it's a lot of people's favorites. It's in my opinion, it's the last hard Pokemon game, because Pokemon Black and Pokemon White 2 introduced the grass, the shaken grass that you could get in Audino and you could kill for like over 400 experience points even early game, and that was ridiculously useful to grind. And then Pokemon Y, much as I love it so, it's too easy. Oh, sweet, another jackpot. It's too easy to level up because catching gets it, and then they ruined XP share, and a lot of people said, oh man, that makes this game so great. It's like, no, I want to grind. With XP share, I feel awful because there's some Pokemon I'm never going to use again because they're leveling up anyway. But Platinum, and look, I always loved Turtwig. I'd say Turtwig's probably the best starter, is my favorite starter, easily. But Chimchar is not a bad starter by any. Chimchar was actually my first starter. Whenever I first played through the game, I had a love affair with fire types, so I chose Chimchar first. I make it my kind of goal to play through every Pokemon game that I like anyway, with every starter. Y was probably the hardest one to do that because I did not like Fennekin. I did not like Fennekin, which is interesting that I put it so high on the list, and I only like 2 of the 3 starters, because I put Black all the way down there, and I actually kind of like all 3, although I think the issue is I can't decide if I like all 3. I feel kind of, on really all of them. There's not one that I love in that group. I feel like the kind of same way with Sun and Moon. I really like Litten. Rowlet's adorable, but Rowlet's evolution forms are just kind of weird. Man, did I take up this entire episode doing slots? I could have sworn I didn't. Man, that's embarrassing on my part. So this is basically just going to be a talking episode. I guess the thumbnail I'm making for this episode is just going to be a slot machine. And I'll label it Addiction if I have to. I don't know, that was my list of my favorite Pokemon games. There's room to wiggle. LeafGreen and Pokemon Y definitely bounce back and forth. I'm actually doing a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Y. In fact, I thought about being really meta for a bit and playing Pokemon while I'm talking about Pokemon. But I I got too worried that I would start commentating on my Pokemon Y, and you guys wouldn't be able to see that, so there'd be no point. And I'd just be kind of reminding you guys that you're not getting commentary in the moment. I'll prep a list. I'll prep a list of my favorite types and my favorite Pokemon, and then if I have to, I'll go in depth with them or my favorite starters. There's a ton of favorites I can do. Oh, I'm a failure. Yeah, no, that's my favorite Pokemon game. I guess I need to figure out a new topic. No, please get the 7. Get the 7. Yeah! All right, I think I'm almost done. I think I'm finally almost done here. Because I think, what is it, 4,600? I remember checking the price, and I completely forgot what the price was. Or at least future me did. Past me, I believe, actually remembered. Because he's still going. Oh. Oh, that wasn't even close. Past me. Those little Clefairies, man, they're just taunting. They're just taunting me. It's getting cold outside. It's like consistently in the 30s now. It actually, there's a wind tunnel we have here, and it's not even really a wind tunnel. It's a tunnel, but it funnels wind in. So whenever you're walking through, you feel like you've got a hurricane pumping in your face, just trying to blow you away. It's like the equivalent of, it's just bad. Oh, I was one off again. Gosh darn it. Man, did I take the entire episode? I could have sworn I did other stuff in this episode. Maybe that's why. Alright. I think the next episode makes a lot more sense now, actually. Yeah, next episode makes a lot more sense. I'm just gonna drink some of my water real quick. Hey! Oh, that's almost enough. I still need just a little bit more. Oh, man. I know for a fact I get it in this episode. Oh. That would have been it. That would have been it. Stupid me. Also, I feel like that middle one is definitely going faster than when we started. And like a lot of people make jokes, like there's different slots that'll work. Like if you mix the slots up, it'll work. This slot, I remember actually, especially in my tests of just messing around and playing, getting the slots for the TM, which I made since I can't show any of, since I'm just going to be taking a while re-recording these audios, and I do kind of want to still play. I may go ahead and go back and do that because I still want to get Ice Beam and Shadow Ball. And maybe a flamethrower just to not put all my eggs in one fiery basket. But you know, we'll see. We'll see. I still have a couple of these episodes. I think this is episode 17 I'm recording, and I recorded so far ahead to prep for Thanksgiving that I got all the way through episode 22, and then I went to re-listen to one. And I was like, man, that was some of my best commentary ever. I want to listen to it again. And then all I heard was the mic like cutting in and out. And I was like, no, what could have happened? I looked down at my headset and it was set to mute. And I was like, darn you, Turtle Beach. Now that I've only got, that one hurts the most. I have discovered, basically what this episode has taught me is I should never go into a casino because I didn't think I took an entire episode practically doing this. It's kind of fitting, though, because I felt like we were going through the series kind of fast. It's kind of nice to have, like, a slow down kind of episode like this. And honestly, this is if I'm going to have any episode where I just kind of talk about random crud, it's good to have an episode like this. Because there's really nothing going on. You can just kind of turn this on and just listen to the soothing sound of my voice. Although I don't understand who would find my voice soothing. I never understood ASMR, as a matter of fact, too. That stuff is just creepy to me. Oh. Oh, Lord above. I finally did it. I've got some spare coins, too. You have no idea the joy that I felt as I walked out that door. I'm finally free. Oh, yeah, I went to put Pokemon in the... Oh, yeah, this is the retiring of a king. I'm sorry, Sir Leonidas. However, we have no need for your wings as of now. Don't worry, we'll get him. He'll see the light of day for a little bit later. Don't worry. If you're a Leonidas lover, if you're an LL, you'll get to see him again at some point. Not gonna say why, not gonna say how, but you'll get to see him again. Give me that Dratini. Oh yeah. Now what should I call my magic dragon? That should have just given away what my thought process was. I literally started humming. Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea. So now I've got my team set. I've got some grinding to do. Some annoying grinding. And this is when I realize something. Do I realize it now? Those are some great stats, just looking at it. Do I realize it now or do I realize it a bit later? Yeah, this is me just basically saying I'm going to be grinding those three. I'll be leading with Browsette, I'll have Puff as my backup, and I'll have Giga as the third tertiary kind of thing. Yep, and I believe this is whenever do I kick it into overdrive yet? Oh yeah, I go ahead and I give the guy the T. Yep, there's Saffron City. So this is the 7th gym, right? That's the 7th gym, because I want to say we go Fuchsia, which I'm nowhere near. I looked up the levels. That's gonna be some episodes worth of grinding. Yeah, this is it. She doesn't have a fire move. She doesn't know Ember. I was so upset. I had to do a double take to check, and then she got poisoned, and I realized it would not be a good idea for her to do this. I think I was actually willing to let her die right there. That's how upset I was, knowing that she didn't know a fire move. But so that was just one quick Google search for me. I do find out she learns a fire type move at level 29. So I have to get her all the way up to level 29, which is 11 levels for those of you counting, until she will learn a fire type move and actually be useful. So what do? I say, well, I gotta go grind her. I gotta grind her up a whole lot, and that's gonna be I don't want to spoil anything, but I think that is the next couple episodes actually. I'm deciding who would be best, and then I realized the reason I had her was specifically to deal with grass types. Then I figure maybe I'll try and burn him, and then he put me to sleep. And the rage I felt at this moment, the fact that she didn't know a fire type move, and now she's paralyzed. And this Bellsprout just turned into endurance test. I mean, golly, I can't even kill a grass type with my fire type, with my fire fox. Yeah. Apparently putting that crown on her head didn't do anything for her, it just made her sexy. God, do you think on the internet somewhere there's a Vulpix? I can almost guarantee that one, actually. I was about to ask, there's a Vulpix anything. I also begin to realize Pidgey's no Whirlwind in this grass. Oh man, I was so upset. Also, the Meowth would kick Browsette's butt. I also realize Giga does not know any electric type moves. Thankfully, Puff saves me with Dragon Rage, because Dragon Rage is just such a good move, and then he knows Twister. I live Twister. Yep, Paralyzed, Dragon Rage, and then Shed Skin exists. Dragon Rage and Twister. I figure I'll give Puff some of the experience. I'll split it a little more evenly between the two. I was worried about Meowth, because Meowth is actually a heavy hitter. I remember I had a Persian once, and Persians are actually pretty good. Like a lot of, I used to diss, personally. I used to diss a lot on Persian, thinking it was a useless Pokemon. Because in the anime, we're kind of taught Meowth is kind of the gag Pokemon of the entire world. But, oh, there was Wobbuffet too. But Wobbuffet, if you play Pokemon for any extended period of time, Wobbuffet, by definition in Pokemon, is a joke. Meowth, I don't know. Meowth just, they grow on me. I kind of wish I hadn't killed Firestar. Like, that was a fast death. You guys, I got confused. I thought that that was the same episode that he died in. So I was legitimately, I thought I had only had him for like 10 minutes. In real life, it was like 12 minutes, but they actually get split up between the episodes. All right, so this is the end of this episode. I'll see you all next time.